The Council's betrayal. The sun rose over Earth's capital city, a bright morning unlike any other. However, the mood across the planet was far from hopeful. The news had spread like wildfire. Humanity's most trusted allies, the Galactic Council, had just expelled Earth from the Intergalactic Federation. A message sent to Earth's leaders declared, "Earth is a threat to galactic peace." The words stung as they echoed through every news station, leaving citizens and officials alike in shock. For years, humanity had worked hard to prove its worth to the Galactic Council, following every order, participating in joint missions, and contributing to the advancement of intergalactic peace. But all of that was for nothing. The Council accused Earth of trying to amass too much power, of secretly plotting to dominate the galaxy. They claimed humans had broken their trust and could no longer be allowed to join the ranks of galactic civilization. On Earth, leaders scrambled to understand what had just happened. The world governments convened, and every leader was left questioning one thing: why? In the halls of power, the tension was palpable. Human ambassadors, once trusted diplomats, now stood at the mercy of the very organization they had worked tirelessly for. The Galactic Council had spoken, and their decision was final. Earth was out. The doors were slammed shut. It wasn't just Earth's leaders who were caught off guard. Ordinary citizens, too, felt betrayed. News of the decision sparked protests in the streets, with people yelling and demanding answers. The idea that Earth was now alone in the vast, unforgiving galaxy sent waves of fear across every continent. In the midst of this chaos, a small group of Earth's most influential leaders gathered in secret. They were scientists, military strategists, and political figures who had quietly watched the Council's growing distrust of Earth. They had been preparing for something like this, and now their time had come. In a secure underground facility, they met under the dim lights. The head of the group, General Alexander Graves, a respected military leader, stood at the front, facing a holographic display of Earth's position in the galaxy. His voice was steady but filled with frustration as he spoke to the group. "We've been abandoned by the very people we trusted, but this isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Earth may have been cast aside, but we will not go quietly into the dark. We will build something stronger. We will build our own empire." His words echoed through the room. There was no denying the gravity of what he was saying. The Galactic Council had made it clear. Earth would never be welcome among them again. But General Graves wasn't ready to accept that fate. He knew humanity's strength. He knew that, despite being betrayed, Earth had the potential to rise from the ashes of this humiliation. The leaders around him nodded in agreement. They had already been working on a contingency plan, one that had been kept under wraps for years. It was time to activate it. Earth had vast resources, a powerful military, innovative scientists, and millions of people who had the will to fight. And now, more than ever, Earth needed to rely on itself. The time to build an independent empire had arrived. In the months that followed, the Earth began to change. It wasn't just a political shift, it was a revolution. Every corner of the world started to feel the shift in power. Technology that had once been hidden in secret labs was now brought into the light. Earth's greatest minds worked tirelessly to develop new weapons, starships, and technologies that could rival those of the Galactic Council. The first steps toward building a new empire began in the quiet, shadowed corners of Earth. But as time passed, the world grew more determined. The people of Earth began to unite in ways they never had before. Former enemies found common ground, as they all realized that their survival now depended on one another. Meanwhile, whispers of Earth's plans spread through the galaxy. While the Galactic Council might have exiled them, they couldn't erase Earth's ambition. Humanity's resilience was legendary, and as their empire began to take shape, rumors spread like wildfire. The Council, the same ones who had called Earth a threat, had no idea what was coming. From deep within the hidden laboratories, Earth's scientists made the first breakthroughs in space travel and weaponry, creating a fleet of ships more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen. It was clear now that Earth wasn't just going to survive. Earth was going to thrive. And as the days passed, General Graves and his team watched Earth transform. They knew that the Galactic Council's betrayal was a blessing in disguise. For far too long, humanity had been dependent on others for their survival, their success, their growth. Now they would forge their own destiny. The path forward would not be easy. It would be filled with challenges, but Earth's resolve was stronger than ever. The galaxy had made a mistake, underestimated Earth, and they would soon learn just how wrong they were. The stage was set. Earth was about to rise. The last hope. In the aftermath of Earth's sudden exile from the Galactic Council, the shock was slowly replaced by a burning desire for action. Earth's leaders, still reeling from the betrayal, understood one thing. They could no longer rely on anyone but themselves. They had to act fast, and they had to be smart. The fate of humanity now rested in their hands. General Alexander Graves, now considered the de facto leader of Earth's resistance, called for an emergency meeting in a secure military facility. This wasn't just any strategy session. It was a turning point for the planet. The Council's betrayal had left Earth vulnerable, but it had also given them a rare chance to reclaim their destiny. The general addressed the group, his voice unwavering despite the chaos that had unfolded. Now that we know the Council's true colors, it's time we take matters into our own hands, he said, his eyes scanning the room full of military leaders, scientists, and engineers. We need a plan that ensures Earth's survival, and more importantly, Earth's rise to power. We can't just fight for survival. We fight for dominance. The room was silent, tension thick in the air. The stakes were incredibly high, but the fire of determination in each person's eyes showed that they weren't backing down. Graves turned to his chief scientist, Dr. Emily Turner, a brilliant mind responsible for some of Earth's most advanced technologies. She had been working secretly on a project that had the potential to change everything. Dr. Turner, Graves called, tell us what we're working with. Dr. Turner nodded and stood up, projecting a 3D hologram of Earth's current military capabilities. The display showed the size of Earth's forces, relatively small compared to the vast armies of galactic empires, but the potential for growth was enormous. She tapped a button, and the display shifted to show the development of a new fleet of ships. These ships are unlike anything the galaxy has ever seen, she explained. We've been working on them in secret, and now we're ready to unveil them. These are not just advanced warships. They're weapons that could give Earth a fighting chance against any galactic force. The new designs use a hybrid engine that surpasses anything the Council has. They're fast, they're powerful, and they're stealthy. General Graves couldn't help but smile. For the first time since the betrayal, there was hope. How soon can we have a fleet ready? Dr. Turner hesitated, then spoke with confidence. Within the next few months, we can have a small but deadly fleet of 5 ships. With a few more months, we could be looking at a force that could rival anything the Council has. The general nodded. We'll need more than just ships. We need soldiers, scientists, engineers, anyone who believes in the future of humanity. We need to call upon every hidden colony and every person who has ever worked to better Earth. This is a global effort now. Across Earth, the response to General Graves' call was swift and overwhelming. People from every corner of the planet, those who had always believed in Earth's potential, answered the call. Former soldiers, scientists, and even civilians who had once felt powerless to make a change came forward, ready to help create a new future for Earth. As Earth's new leaders began to recruit, the first signs of unity emerged. The diverse nations, which had once been divided by borders and old conflicts, now set aside their differences. This was not about nation-states anymore. This was about humanity's survival and its future. The creation of the Earth Empire would require the combined efforts of all. Meanwhile, The technological breakthroughs Dr. Turner's team had developed went into full-scale production. Earth's engineers and military strategists worked tirelessly to refine the designs and build up the new fleet. The once small group of rebels now grew into a powerful movement, and with each passing day, Earth's empire began to take shape. But while Earth was working to secure its future, the galaxy was watching. Whispers spread across the stars about the rise of this new power. The Galactic Council, now aware of Earth's growing strength, couldn't help but feel threatened. They had believed that they could control humanity, but now it seemed that Earth had a plan to not only survive but thrive. They couldn't allow that to happen. In hidden spaces throughout the galaxy, other alien species began to take sides. Some supported Earth's rise, seeing it as a potential ally. Others, loyal to the Galactic Council, prepared for a confrontation. The galaxy was on the brink of war. As Earth continued its preparations, General Graves stood on the balcony of a command center, gazing at the stars. For the first time in his life, he felt that humanity had the power to shape its own future. No longer would they be at the mercy of the Galactic Council's decisions. Earth was going to rise on its own terms. The general turned and walked back into the war room, where the plans for Earth's empire were already in motion. There was no turning back now. Humanity's fight for survival had begun, and it would not stop until Earth stood as a mighty force in the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Earth would not be a passive player in the galactic game any longer. They were ready to stake their claim. Earth's secret weapon. As Earth began its journey to reclaim its place in the galaxy, the heart of its power lay in one crucial area: technology. Humanity had always been known for its resourcefulness, but the betrayal by the Galactic Council forced them to move faster, think smarter, and push the boundaries of science beyond what had once seemed possible. Earth's greatest minds worked day and night to develop a secret weapon, a technological breakthrough that could change the fate of the galaxy. Dr. Emily Turner, the chief scientist behind Earth's most advanced technologies, stood before a team of engineers, looking over blueprints that would soon become reality. The research facility was buried deep within a mountain range, far from prying eyes. It was here that humanity's last hope for survival was being created. These ships, if we can perfect them, will give us the edge we need, Dr. Turner said, her voice filled with both excitement and caution. But we need time. Time to test, time to refine, and most importantly, time to prepare for what's coming. She looked over the designs once more, ensuring that every detail was flawless. The new fleet, codenamed Aegis, was a marvel of engineering. Unlike anything the Galactic Council had seen, these ships were designed not just to defend Earth, but to launch it into a new era. They combined alien technology, which had been reverse-engineered over the years, with humanity's own advancements. The result was a fleet that could outperform anything the Council had, using stealth, advanced weaponry, and faster-than-light engines. The first prototype, Aegis 1, was nearing completion. It was a sleek, stealthy craft capable of slipping past enemy defenses and striking with devastating force. The ship's energy shields could withstand powerful energy blasts, while its weapons were capable of disabling entire fleets in a single strike. The Aegis ships were humanity's first true weapon of galactic scale, and Dr. Turner was determined to make them perfect. Meanwhile, General Graves had begun assembling a team of the best and brightest military officers, each one handpicked for their experience and skills. They were tasked with preparing for the day when Earth's fleet would finally take to the stars. The team's focus wasn't just on tactics and strategy, but on ensuring that Earth would have the discipline and unity it needed to face the galactic threats that were sure to come. Captain Jonathan Hale, a decorated military strategist, took charge of training the first crew for Aegis 1. He knew that piloting the new ships would be unlike anything the Earth fleet had ever done before. These were no ordinary warships. They required precision, skill, and a deep understanding of both the ship and the galaxy itself. "We're not just building ships," Captain Hale told his team as they gathered for their first training session. "We're building a force that will reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Every move, every decision, every second on the battlefield could make the difference between victory and defeat." The crew was handpicked, trained in the use of advanced alien technology, and prepared for the unknown. Each member of the team knew what was at stake. Earth's survival depended on their success. They pushed their limits, training for combat scenarios, studying enemy tactics, and learning the intricate systems of their new ships. There was no room for failure. As the Aegis fleet began to take shape, Earth's influence began to spread. The once fragmented planet now stood united under a single goal: to rebuild and expand, creating a power strong enough to challenge the Galactic Council. The leaders of Earth knew that they could no longer be seen as weak or vulnerable. They had to present an image of strength, one that would shake the galaxy to its core. But the Council was not blind. The whispers of Earth's technological advancements reached the ears of the galactic powers, and not all of them were happy about it. Some saw Earth as a potential ally, a new force that could help them challenge the established powers. Others, more aligned with the Council, saw Earth as a growing threat. An informant in the Galactic Council intercepted a secret transmission, revealing their growing concern over Earth's rapidly expanding power. The Council had already planned a countermeasure. They would send a fleet to eliminate Earth's new threat before it could become a reality. As Earth prepared for its first true test, a fleet of alien warships, equipped with the latest technology and resources from the Galactic Council, was being dispatched to Earth's borders. It was a strike meant to destroy the fledgling empire before it could rise. The clock was ticking. General Graves and Dr. Turner knew that the success of Aegis I would be the key to Earth's survival. If the ship and its technology could hold up against the Council's fleet, it would send a clear message to the galaxy. Earth was no longer a pawn to be played with. It was a force to be reckoned with. As the final preparations were made, Dr. Turner stared at the prototype, her hands resting on the cold metal of the ship's hull. Aegis I was humanity's last hope. There was no turning back now. If they failed, Earth would face annihilation. If they succeeded, they would take their first steps toward becoming a power capable of challenging the very forces that had once controlled them. The countdown had begun, and the first battle of Earth's new empire was about to unfold. No one knew what the future would hold, but one thing was certain: Earth's fight for survival was far from over. It had just begun. A rising threat. The hum of Aegis I reverberated through the command center as General Graves watched the holographic displays flashing in front of him. The ship was ready, and so were its crew. But even as Earth's new fleet prepared to defend the planet, another, far more dangerous threat loomed on the horizon. Far beyond the outer reaches of Earth's defenses, deep in the dark void of space, a large fleet of alien warships approached. This wasn't just any fleet. It was the combined forces of the Galactic Council, sent with a single mission: to destroy Earth's growing power before it could pose a serious threat. The Council had learned of the Aegis fleet's capabilities, and their first response was to eliminate it. They underestimated Earth's determination, but they had no idea how far humanity had come in just a short period of time. Earth wasn't just a planet struggling to survive anymore. It was a force capable of challenging the most powerful empires in the galaxy. General Graves paced back and forth in the war room, his mind racing. He knew that the first true test of Earth's strength had arrived. The fleet would be here in a matter of days, and with it, the beginning of the first battle for Earth's survival. "Captain Hale," Graves said, his voice steady, "prepare the fleet. This is not just a defense mission. We're sending a message to the galaxy." Captain Hale, standing at the ready, nodded. "Understood, General. We've trained for this moment. We'll make sure Earth stands strong." The crew of Aegis I and the rest of the fleet were gearing up for battle, but the tension was palpable. Every man and woman aboard those ships knew that their lives could be on the line. This was the moment when Earth would either prove its strength or fall to the forces that had betrayed it. As the fleet made its final preparations, Earth's political leaders worked quickly to unite the world's nations. The newly formed Earth Empire was still in its infancy, but the crisis brought humanity together in ways that were previously unthinkable. Alliances were formed, resources pooled, and soldiers were recruited from every corner of the planet. The threat of the Council's fleet created a bond between people that transcended borders. It was no longer about individual nations or leaders. It was about survival. Every person on Earth now had a stake in the fight for their future. Dr. Turner stood alongside the general, her eyes focused on the data scrolling across the screens in front of her. "General, the fleet is moving into position. We've made some adjustments to Aegis I's stealth systems, and our shipyards are putting the final touches on the other ships. We're ready." Graves glanced at the scientist, his mind sharp despite the looming danger. "We've trained for this, but don't underestimate the Council. They may have underestimated us, but we have to be ready for anything." The countdown to the first battle began. Earth's fleet moved into position, ready to face the unknown. The Galactic Council prepares. The Council's response to Earth's rise was swift and ruthless. Their fleet, a combination of warships from multiple alien races, was massive, far larger than Earth's fledgling fleet. Yet they believed that Earth was still too weak to pose any real threat. The Council had been complacent for centuries, comfortable in their dominance over the galaxy. They had not anticipated Earth's rapid technological leap, nor the sheer determination that had ignited within the human race. The Council's fleet was led by Grand Admiral Zoreth, a seasoned tactician who had overseen countless campaigns across the galaxy. He was confident in his orders: destroy Earth's fleet before they could become a real problem. Zoreth believed that the humans were no different from other species they had dominated, weak, divided, and easily crushed. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, Vengeful Star, watching as the fleet moved toward Earth's orbit. The viewports showed the distant blue planet, now surrounded by Earth's growing fleet of advanced warships. "Admiral," his officer said, breaking Zoreth from his thoughts, "we are within range of Earth's defenses. The fleet is ready to engage." Zoreth nodded, his voice cold and calculated. "Begin the assault. The humans will learn the price of defying the Galactic Council." But even as the fleet advanced, there was a growing sense of unease among the officers aboard the flagship. Some of them, especially those from species sympathetic to Earth's rise, were starting to question the Council's decision to wage war against the humans. They could see the strength building on the blue planet, and they knew that a confrontation with Earth would change everything. Despite these concerns, the orders were clear. The fleet pressed on, the calm before the storm. Back on Earth, the crew of Aegis I prepared for the confrontation. The tension was thick, and while their training had prepared them for battle, no one could truly predict what awaited them. Earth's forces had never faced anything like the Council's fleet. The stakes were higher than ever before. General Graves stood on the observation deck, watching the ships in orbit. The first battle was about to begin. He wasn't nervous. He had seen the strength of Earth's people and the fire in their hearts, but he knew that one mistake could cost them everything. Captain Hale approached, his face grim but determined. "General, our ships are ready. We got the element of surprise with the stealth technology, but the Council's fleet is huge. We're going to need everything we've got." "We've trained for this," Graves replied. "Now it's time to show the galaxy that Earth won't go down without a fight." The comms officer's voice suddenly cut through the air. "General Graves, Captain Hale, the enemy fleet has entered Earth's orbit. They're charging weapons. The battle is about to begin." The moment of truth had arrived. Earth's first real test had come, and it was time to prove that humanity was no longer a meek player in the galaxy. It was a force to be reckoned with. The rising threat of the Galactic Council had finally reached Earth's doorstep, and Earth was ready to fight back. The first victory. The stars above Earth shimmered with a haunting stillness as both fleets prepared for battle. Earth's Aegis ships, sleek and ready, silently awaited their orders in the cold expanse of space. Below, General Graves stood on the command deck, watching the monitors with steely resolve. His mind raced. This was the moment of truth. Will humanity stand or fall in the face of the Galactic Council's might? Across the galaxy, the Council's fleet loomed large and ominous. It was an intimidating force, dozens of warships with advanced weaponry, and sheer numbers that would crush most civilizations. But Earth had something they hadn't anticipated. A will to fight unlike any the galaxy had seen before, and the technology to back it up. General Graves turned to Captain Hale, who stood at his side, his eyes sharp with focus. "It's time," the general said. "Prepare to launch. The fate of Earth rests on this moment." "Understood, General," Hale replied, his voice unwavering. "We'll show them that Earth's resolve is stronger than their numbers." On the battlefield, Aegis I and the rest of Earth's fleet moved into position, invisible against the blackness of space, their advanced stealth technology keeping them hidden from the Council's radar. The element of surprise was their greatest advantage, and they would use it to strike first. The enemy fleet, massive and imposing, hovered just outside Earth's atmosphere. Grand Admiral Zorath stood at the helm of his flagship, Vengeful Star, confident that the humans would be no match for the might of the Galactic Council. "Activate the weapons," he ordered, his voice cold and commanding. "Destroy Earth's fleet. Leave nothing behind." The first salvo of energy blasts came, slicing through the black void, targeting Earth's fleet. The first few shots missed, but it didn't take long for the Council's fleet to lock onto their target. But they couldn't see the silent strike force waiting in the shadows. "Now," Captain Hale shouted, and in an instant, the Aegis fleet unleashed their weapons, firing precise blasts that cut through the darkness. The first shots from Earth's ships tore into the Council's advancing warships with devastating power. The Galactic Council had underestimated Earth's firepower. Their ships, while massive, were not prepared for the sudden, precise onslaught from Aegis I and the other ships in Earth's fleet. Explosions erupted in the void of space as Council ships were torn apart, their defensive shields failing to protect them from the sheer force of the human-made weapons. The fleet's tactical advantage didn't stop there. The Aegis ships, using their advanced cloaking technology, moved in and out of stealth, picking off enemy ships one by one. It was a strategy of precision rather than brute force, something Earth had learned to master in the shadows. In the chaos of the battle, General Graves watched the holographic displays, his heart pounding as he saw the enemy fleet begin to falter. The tide of the battle was turning in Earth's favor. "We're breaking their lines," Captain Hale shouted as another Council ship exploded into a burst of light. "We've got them on the run." Zorath, the leader of the Galactic Council's forces, watched in disbelief as his once overwhelming fleet was picked apart. "Impossible," he growled, slamming his fist onto the control panel. "How are they doing this? They were supposed to be weak." But it was too late. Earth's fleet continued to press forward, cutting through the remaining enemy ships with surgical precision. The shock of the Council's first defeat at the hands of Earth was setting in. Zorath, realizing his forces were failing, ordered a retreat. "Withdraw. Get out of here. We've lost too many ships." But the damage was done. The Aegis fleet had proven its worth, and Earth had won its first victory. Earth's forces were not only surviving, they were thriving. They had demonstrated their strength, their resolve, and their ability to strike back when pushed to the edge. Aftermath. As the battle ended, the black void of space slowly became quiet once more. Earth's fleet stood victorious, having destroyed or disabled nearly half of the Galactic Council's attacking force. The remaining enemy ships had retreated into the farthest reaches of space, their retreat a humiliating acknowledgement of their failure to crush Earth. General Graves stood in the war room, staring at the screens that now showed Earth's fleet in full formation. The battle had been fierce, but humanity had proven it was not just a victim. It was a contender in the galactic arena. The victory wasn't just a military one. It was a statement to the galaxy. Earth was no longer a helpless world exiled to the fringes of space. It was an emerging power, capable of shaping its own future. "General," Dr. Turner said as she approached, a rare smile crossing her face. "The fleet's performance exceeded our expectations. We've done it." Graves nodded, but his expression remained serious. "Yes, we've won this battle, but the war is far from over. This is just the beginning. The Galactic Council won't take this lightly." "Of course," Dr. Turner replied. "But for now, we've shown them we're not to be underestimated." The people of Earth watched as their leaders celebrated the victory, but deep down, they all knew that this was just the first step in a long, hard journey. The galaxy had seen what Earth was capable of, and it was only a matter of time before the next battle would come. But for now, Earth could breathe a little easier. The first victory was theirs. The Galactic Council strikes back. The stars above Earth, once peaceful in their distance, now held the weight of a galaxy's uncertainty. The victory against the Galactic Council had been a massive blow to their ego and their power. The galactic superpowers who had once viewed Earth as insignificant now saw a rising threat that could no longer be ignored. But Earth's triumph, no matter how significant, had come at a cost. The Galactic Council was a vast and complex organization, composed of numerous alien races, all with their own agendas. The defeat at Earth's hands sparked outrage within the Council. They had underestimated humanity's will to survive, and they would not make the same mistake again. In the dark corners of Council space, whispers began to spread. A counteroffensive was being planned. And this time, the stakes were higher. No longer would the Council simply aim to destroy Earth's fleet. They would aim to break humanity entirely. Grand Admiral Zoreth, still recovering from the defeat, sat at the helm of his flagship, Vengeful Star. His pride had been shattered. And now, as he faced the Galactic Council's high-ranking officials, he knew he had one chance to redeem himself. "You failed," one of the Council's leaders, a cold-eyed alien from a species known for their ruthless tactics, sneered at him. "And now Earth believes it can stand against us." Zoreth clenched his fists, but he did not show weakness. "I will not fail again. This time, we will destroy Earth completely." Their victory was a fluke. "I've already begun assembling a force that will wipe them out. The Vengeful Star will lead the charge." The Council's leaders nodded in agreement. They knew that Earth's rapid rise could not be allowed to continue. Humanity had proven itself capable of fighting back. The threat it posed had to be crushed before it could spread. With the decision made, the Council began to mobilize their forces. Massive fleets, the likes of which Earth had never faced, began to assemble in the dark depths of space. This time, there would be no element of surprise. Earth would have to face a full-scale invasion. And this time, there would be no mercy. Earth prepares for the worst. On Earth, the victory celebration was short-lived. General Graves had been expecting retaliation, and now he knew the Council would bring everything they had. The silence that followed the first victory had been unsettling, a calm before the storm. Graves stood in the command center, his eyes fixed on the holographic map of the galaxy. Earth's fleet was ready, but he knew that the Council's forces would be far more powerful this time. The battleships they had destroyed were only a fraction of the Council's full military strength. He couldn't shake the feeling that Earth's survival was on the line in this next battle. "General," Captain Hale said as he entered the room, his voice urgent, "we've just intercepted a transmission. The Galactic Council is sending a fleet larger and more powerful than the last. They plan to invade Earth within the week." Graves gritted his teeth. "I knew it. They won't stop until we're nothing more than a memory. But they're in for a surprise." Dr. Turner entered the room, her face serious. "We've made improvements to the fleet, General. The Aegis ships are more advanced than ever, but I'm afraid we need more than just firepower. The Council's fleet is enormous. We'll need a strategy that doesn't just rely on strength, but on outsmarting them." "We can do this," Graves said, his voice calm but filled with determination. We've already proven we can strike hard and fast. This time, we'll use their arrogance against them. They won't expect the unexpected." Captain Hale looked at Graves. "What are you thinking, General?" "We're going to make them think they have Earth cornered. We'll draw them in close enough to strike when they least expect it. The battle begins." Earth's fleet, though smaller than the Council's, had one crucial advantage: their ability to think outside the box. They had learned from the first battle that sheer force wasn't always the answer. Strategy and adaptability were just as important. As the Galactic Council's fleet approached Earth's orbit, their ships filled the void, a terrifying presence in the heavens. Grand Admiral Zoreth stood at the front of his command ship, overseeing the operation. His eyes narrowed as he watched the signals from Earth. There was no sign of any resistance. "We've broken their spirit," Zoreth muttered. "There's no way they can withstand this." But Earth had prepared for this. As the Council's fleet moved closer, Earth's ships remained hidden, out of sight, relying on stealth and misdirection to confuse the enemy. At the perfect moment, General Graves gave the order. "Now." Bang! Suddenly, Earth's fleet emerged from the shadows, launching a barrage of high-powered blasts at the unsuspecting Council ships. The first wave of Earth's attacks hit with brutal precision, catching the Council's fleet off guard. The blast shields on several of their ships buckled under the force, and explosions rippled across their lines. Grand Admiral Zoreth snarled as his fleet scrambled to retaliate. "What are they doing? How do they know our position?" "Sir, their stealth systems are more advanced than we anticipated," an officer reported, panic creeping into his voice. "We've lost contact with several ships." The battle raged on, the tide shifting unpredictably as Earth's fleet took advantage of their superior tactics and knowledge of the terrain. The Galactic Council's ships, caught in a web of confusion, struggled to maintain control. The turning point. As the battle continued, Earth's forces remained relentless. Despite the overwhelming numbers of the Galactic Council's fleet, the humans fought like their very existence depended on it, because it did. At the heart of the chaos, Aegis I led the charge, firing devastating energy blasts at the Council's flagship, Vengeful Star. With each hit, the flagship's hull weakened, sparks and debris flying into space. General Graves, watching from the command deck of Aegis I, knew that this was their chance to win it all. "Give them everything we've got," he ordered, his voice calm but filled with fierce resolve. And with that, the Aegis fleet delivered a final blow to the Vengeful Star. The massive flagship, unable to withstand the relentless assault, began to break apart, its core collapsing in a brilliant explosion. The sight of the Vengeful Star's destruction was a powerful symbol. The Galactic Council's strongest weapon had been shattered, and Earth had delivered the blow. The Council's forces faltered, retreating once again, their confidence shattered by Earth's unexpected might. The price of victory. As the final Council ships retreated, Earth's fleet stood victorious once again. The cost had been high, with many ships damaged or destroyed, but Earth had prevailed. General Graves stood quietly, looking out into the vast expanse of space. They had won, but he knew this wouldn't be the last time Earth faced such challenges. The Galactic Council would return, and the galaxy would never forget Earth's rise. For now, though, humanity had a moment of peace. Earth's independence had been secured, and a new empire was born, a force to be reckoned with. The future was uncertain, but Earth had proven that no matter the odds, they would fight to the very end. Earth's empire rises. The galaxy had watched in stunned silence as Earth stood strong against the might of the Galactic Council. 2 battles had been fought, and in both, humanity had emerged victorious. What had once been a fragile planet, exiled and scorned by the galaxy's elite, was now proving to be a force that could no longer be ignored. The rise of Earth's new empire had begun, and nothing would stand in its way. General Graves stood at the heart of Earth's newly established command center, gazing at the holographic map of the galaxy. The latest battle had sent shockwaves throughout the Council, and the victorious fleet that had returned to Earth's orbit was now the symbol of human strength. As the war-weary soldiers disembarked, the citizens of Earth celebrated their hard-earned freedom and newfound power. The cost had been high, but the reward was more than worth it. "General," Dr. Turner said, entering the room with a look of quiet triumph, "the fleet's return is being broadcast to the entire galaxy. People are watching. Earth has shown them what we're capable of." Graves nodded. "It's time to show them the full picture. Earth is no longer just a player in this galaxy. We're going to shape our future on our terms." Humanity had always been resilient, but now, for the first time, Earth was using that resilience to create a lasting empire. Earth's people, united after years of struggle, now had the power to extend their influence across the galaxy. No longer would they be exiles, at the mercy of the Galactic Council's whims. Earth would stand tall among the stars. A new era. In the days following Earth's victory, the world witnessed a transformation. The government, once divided by borders and political strife, had united under the banner of the Earth Empire. The militaries, once separate and disjointed, now coordinated under a single unified command. The technological advancements that had been developed during the war were shared across Earth, from the farthest reaches of the colonies to the deepest cities on the planet. Earth's first diplomatic missions were launched as ambassadors from the new empire met with neighboring alien civilizations, some of them eager to ally with the humans, and others wary of Earth's growing power. But there was one undeniable truth. No one could ignore the rise of Earth. The Council's attempt to eradicate humanity had failed, and now Earth's newfound influence was being felt across the galaxy. Some planets had already pledged allegiance to the new Earth Empire, joining the growing alliance that was swiftly spreading. Even the races that had once viewed humanity as insignificant or inferior were beginning to recognize Earth's potential. But not everyone was pleased with the changes taking place. Far from it. The Galactic Council's final move. Grand Admiral Zoreth, though humiliated and defeated, was not ready to concede. His retreat had been a temporary setback, but it was clear to him now that the rise of Earth could not go unchallenged. The Council, though fractured, still commanded vast resources, and they were not about to let one planet rise to prominence without a fight. A secret meeting was held in the deepest chambers of the Council's high command. The remnants of the Council's leaders, furious and desperate, began to discuss their final response to Earth's defiance. Earth has become a threat, not just to the Council, but to the entire galaxy, one of the leaders stated coldly. "We cannot allow this to continue." "We cannot lose face," another leader added. "We must destroy Earth before they gain too much power." Zoreth stood at the table, his face a mask of grim determination. "We may have underestimated them before, but we won't make that mistake again. It's time to gather the fleet. Earth will fall. It's not a matter of if, but when." The Council was preparing for its final assault, a massive offensive that would strike at the heart of the Earth Empire. The resources at their disposal were immense, but this time they would not be caught off guard. Their strategy was clear: crush Earth in a single, overwhelming attack before humanity's power could grow too great. Earth's resolve. But Earth was ready. The new empire, though still young, had learned valuable lessons from its previous victories. Earth's fleet, now a force to be reckoned with, had expanded and strengthened its ranks. The citizens of Earth knew that the Council's threats were not idle, and they were prepared to defend their newfound freedom at any cost. General Graves stood before a group of Earth's top commanders in the central war room. Their enemy, though vast and powerful, was no longer the same threat that it had once been. Earth's first victories had proven that humanity could survive, and even thrive, against seemingly insurmountable odds. "We fought hard to get here," Graves said, his voice filled with unwavering confidence, "and we're not going to back down now. The Galactic Council may have underestimated us, but we won't make that mistake again. We've built an empire that will stand for generations, and we will protect it no matter what." The commanders nodded, their resolve firm. Earth was no longer a planet on the edge of extinction. It was an empire with its own destiny, and they would defend it at all costs. The final battle. The Council's fleet arrived at Earth's borders, a massive armada that dwarfed the forces humanity had previously faced. This would be their greatest challenge yet. Earth's fleet was ready, and the stakes had never been higher. The final battle for Earth's place in the galaxy had begun. As the two fleets clashed in the cold expanse of space, the galaxy watched in awe. This was no longer a battle for survival. This was a battle for supremacy. Earth's resolve was stronger than ever, and with every strike, it became clear that humanity had no intention of being anything less than a galactic power. General Graves watched as Aegis I engaged the enemy flagship in a fierce battle, the ship's advanced weaponry cutting through the Council's forces like a blade through steel. Despite the overwhelming odds, Earth's fleet fought with everything it had. As the battle raged on, a final, decisive blow was struck. The flagship of the Galactic Council fell, its massive hull shattering into 1,000 pieces, and with it, the last hope of the Council's victory. Earth had once again proven that it could stand against any power in the galaxy. The new galactic order. As the smoke of battle cleared, Earth's fleet stood victorious. The Galactic Council's forces were scattered, their fleet in ruins. Earth had emerged not just as a survivor, but as a new power in the galaxy. The galaxy would never be the same. Earth had risen, not through diplomacy or by hiding in the shadows, but by fighting for its place, proving its strength, and forging a new future. The Earth Empire was born, not out of conquest, but out of necessity, resilience, and the unwavering belief that humanity deserved its place in the stars. And as General Graves watched the stars from Earth's command center, he knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen what Earth could do, and soon more worlds would join their empire. Humanity had faced its darkest hour and had come out victorious. The future was theirs to shape. Earth had risen.